Hey, I had some extra time, so I thought I would review something else. I'm going to review America's Story 1. We have been using this since maybe the second month of our school year, and it's by Master Books. Let me start this by saying we will be using this again. My son enjoyed it. I did not. I am not a fan of it. I went onto the Facebook group and the moms gush about it and they say how great it is, and it's basically like if something is, if you don't enjoy it or you found it lacking, something's wrong with you and you're not doing it right. I don't enjoy it. It's served its purpose, and since my son likes it, we will continue to use it. But after the series of the Americas, because they have 1, 2, and 3, we will be ditching. We will be ditching it. I don't want to switch them at this point because I've been having a real hard time finding something that's comparable that will start up at the time period that we're ending in. So we just won't. I have used the textbook mostly as reading literature, and I leave a lot of stuff out. Now, I'm going to explain that thoroughly. So this is the teacher's guide, and this is the textbook, okay? I use the teacher's guide like a workbook for him, and it's geared for 3rd to 6th grade, which kind of made it a little bit difficult to use it. So let's start with the textbook. It's well written. It's well written. It has a lot of things in it that are personal to the author, which I don't enjoy reading. I find it frivolous and very difficult to, as mom, read to my child and be enthralled in it. She'll mention things like, oh, when I lived here and it was so snowing, or, oh, when I was a kid, my favorite thing was, or, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I don't like that. I find it takes away instead of adds. And then I get a lot of questions about that and not about the lessons. So as we read, I just nixed those parts. Yeah. The other thing is I found that there was some, it's not pertinent information, but it was just missing. For example, Columbus has 2 sons. He had 1 biological and he had 1 stepchild from his marriage. The stepchild isn't mentioned at all. That kind of bothered me simply because it's like placing importance on one over another, and just convictionally I had an issue with that. I felt like it really took away from it, and my son was confused because that was something that we had already read about in one of the books that we had done the previous year. Little things like that. Overall, though, the pictures are great. It is written like a living book, which makes it an easy read for the most part. The other thing that I didn't like is here at the beginning, it asks you questions to do with your students that there are no answers to. You would have to go and research it by yourself, which is not something that I was prepared for. So I'm a big open and go person, and when I would read this part and then we wouldn't answer the question after reading the chapter, I found that very confusing and a little off-putting. And so as a mom, go through and read that page first to make sure that you're not asking questions that you're not really prepared to answer. I like to leave room in the day to study things outside that are in their interest, but I don't like it when I have to go searching for it. So I thought it was open and go and read, and it's really, that part was not. Here's the teacher's guide. I told you we just use this as an actual workbook. Let me start with the things that I liked about it. The timeline, we actually use a Sunlight timeline, and so I'll review that in a different part. But in the back here, as you go through, you color and cut out all these pieces. We haven't put this one in yet. And then we tape them into our timeline. But here it gives you spaces. Let me see if I can find one. Within the book, to put them, to glue them. And then you can also draw pictures. My son hates to draw, so that wasn't really an option. It says glue here. And I didn't like it because it wasn't something that we could go back and look at. So we used the pictures, but we did not, and I enjoyed that a lot. I'm very thankful for that. But we did not utilize the timeline within the book. The other thing I didn't like is my son and I were very, very confused. It says to go and collect words, for example. And it took me a while to figure out, but you can collect any words that you want to from the chapter. They're not vocabulary words. They're not words in bold. They're not geographical words. They're just any words. And so I really didn't enjoy that. And my son is very logical and he likes to follow instructions. And so that didn't really make a lot of sense to him. And so we skipped a lot of those. I did like having art and the maps included. So, like I said, he didn't really like art, so I made him do it, but I wouldn't make him do it twice. And like I said, he enjoyed it enough that we will be doing it again, and I know enough confidently to be able to make it work, but we probably won't be doing it again. Anyway, I hope that was helpful, and I hope that this gives you the information that you need.